In this video, we're going to look at calculating the internal rate of return, or the IRR, using the BA2 Plus calculator. So the data that we're looking at, we have an initial investment of $350,000, and then we have the projected cash flows for period 1 of $45,000, for year 2 of $65,000, year 3 of $65,000, and finally year 4 projected cash flows of $440,000. And our required rate of return is 15%. So to begin, first we want to clear any values that we've got in here. Now, in order to properly clear out any work that we've done with respect to cash flows, we want to hit the CF button, and you can see our previous calculations. We can see some values in there, so we want to clear everything out. So we do that by pressing the second button, and then down at the very bottom left hand corner we hit the clear button, and now our cash flow is now set to 0. Everything's gone and we're ready to key in our information. So our initial investment again was $350,000. Okay, once we key in our 350, because it's an investment, it's outgoing cash, so we hit the plus minus button to show a negative value because it's cash going out. Then select our enter button right here, and now we go to the next step by pressing the down arrow key, and our cash flow for period 1, as you recall, was $45,000. So we'll key in 45,000. 45,000, then we're going to select the enter key. Once we've got that entered, then our down arrow key, and our frequency for period 1 is 1. There's one time that cash flow is going in, so we'll select enter, and then our down arrow key. And our cash flow for period 2, as you recall, was $65,000, so we'll key in 65,000. 65,000, we will select enter, and it was for one period, the frequency of that 65,000, so we'll hit enter again and select the down arrow key. Now our cash flow for year 3 was also $65,000, so we'll key in 65,000. Okay, select the enter key and the down arrow. The frequency of that cash flow again was for a single period, so we'll select enter and our down arrow key. And then lastly, our final cash flow was for period 4, and we had an amount of $440,000. So go back over to the BA Plus, we'll key in our 440. Okay, 440,000, we will select enter and our down arrow key. The frequency for this, of course, was 1. Right, and now we will select our IRR, that button right here, just below the down arrow key, the internal rate of return. And you should see IRR appear on your calculator, and hit compute. And we get an internal rate of return of 18.14%. Now, in this example, if we go back and we can see that our required rate of return was 15%, and we've calculated based on this investment and the projected cash flows that our internal rate of return is 18.14%, we would, because this value is greater than a required return, we would accept this project. Now, one of the disadvantages, possible disadvantages with using the internal rate of return is if you are looking at a scenario where you have non-conventional cash flows, you may not get a value, or you may get multiple values. So you need to be mindful of that. But this works very well in conjunction with the net present value as well. I hope you found that helpful. Please keep going through and try these examples on your calculator until you get familiar with all the steps, and we will see you on the next tutorial.